Alright, what's up? So it's not every day that you get to spend hundreds of dollars on what is your first custom keyboard build. But like most people out there, I'm not very financially smart, and that's just what I did. Now this is the Bauer Lite X-Ray Edition 65% keyboard kit. It's a collaboration with Matthew and Sina from Mod Musings and Bauer Lite. Being a 90s kid, this board clearly spoke to me, and it was just a direct hit of nostalgia. Hit me right in the heart, guys. And I thought, I've always been into keyboards, have a bunch of keyboards in my collection, but I actually never built one myself. So I decided my fake Goyard wallet, it needed a nice hit. So I pre-ordered this thing back in July 30th of 2024. Alongside the keyboard, I also pre-ordered the keycaps that released alongside it, as well as an artisan keycap and a custom cable. And the last thing for me to personally tie it all together were some new linear glass switches that I also picked up during this drop. Now I must have missed the early pre-order on the board because all of the things I ordered came at different times. Some things I received in September and some things I received in November. And what I received in November was the actual keyboard. So I was really in no rush to build this thing just because it was the holidays and I just kind of had a lot going on. So it's April and I actually built this in March and I am now recording this video. And I've been using the keyboard for a while, so I wanted to talk about it. So yeah, let's talk about how I've liked it, what my experience has been building a mechanical keyboard as somebody who's never actually built one themselves, some pros and cons, and in general, is it worth the build? And if you guys are into tech and gaming, hit the subscribe button, support the channel, and like the video if you find this informative. The unboxing experience is fun and premium, at least from the outside. In the box, you get a multitude of things. You get your injection molded polycarbonate clear top enclosure with the custom X-ray graphics. You get the white bottom enclosure, a white polycarbonate plate, screws, tweezers, and other little pieces to glue everything together. You get your white plate silicone for dampening the sound of your switches, and of course you get your PCB, and it's basically everything you need to cook a good board up. Sea Glass has a great name to it, and these switches are definitely also great to look at. A variety of different colors, and in my opinion, feel, look, and sound smooth just like the ocean waves. The process, though, it did take me a few hours. It wasn't really hard at all. It was just time consuming, and I'm not gonna put you through the misery of all the filming I did for hours on end here, but if you're someone who's not the most technical person, but are keen to looking things up when you have a question, you're gonna do just fine here. It's satisfying though, feeling the quality of every little component, putting it all together feels great, adjusting things as needed to really match your preference, and creating the sound and feel that you want out of it is why people build boards. I get it now. I get why people are paying all this money to build them, to have this experience. I understand why it can be so addictive. This might not be a fair comparison, but it's kind of like fashion, right? You're hunting for all the right pieces to finally put it together and, create this fit that's perfect in your eyes. I kind of see the same thing in a keyboard. Now, the quality control in a product like this, when you're spending so much money, is definitely important. Everything was perfect and everything fit perfectly as well. All of the pieces I needed were there and I had zero issues until it was time to put the keycaps on. And you might be saying, dude, what are you talking about? The keycaps look just fine. And I would agree until I started typing and I got a bit confused as to why there were two J's on my board instead of a J and an H. So I picked up my keycap box and looked for an H, and to my surprise, it wasn't there. And yes, I was pissed. What can I say? Mainly because I got the package delivered in November, pre-order in July, and basically took all this time to just open it this year. And I thought of the possibility that because everything was sold out, I might not be able to get that keycap that I needed. So I reached out, and to my surprise, they were able to replace that missing keycap. All I had to pay was $1. Not really sure why, but I paid $1 for it. And after a few long weeks of waiting for this package, I finally received the H keycap. And I finally was able to complete my board and just use it in all its glory. The translucent body shimmers in the sunlight with rays of sun piercing through the edges of the keycaps. And I can't help to think, damn, I spent a lot of money on this board, but it is beautiful and I can't be mad. It's perfect, almost. But first, let's talk about that X-ray cable. It comes in this fancy little box. It's a USB-C to USB-C cable that is designed with a soft to the touch translucent silicone with white shield and conductors on display. Now, don't ask me what that means. I have no idea. That's just what the website says. But you can see the insides and it looks so cool. It's just slightly enough where you can almost barely see the insides. You can see it. It's perfect, but not too much. The USB shells are made of a custom designed die-cast copper alloy housing which carries the logo designs and feature a grip that allows you to easily hold onto the tip of the cable. Plain and simple, I think it's fire. And it almost sort of looks like a medical tube. I don't know if you guys have ever got any sort of injections on you. It looks like a medical tube. It's expensive, but I love it and I'm using it to this day. And lastly, the second artisan keycap that I've ever owned in my life, with the first one being an Apex Legends one that Taylor got me for, I think it was my birthday. Again, thank you, Taylor. Now, according to the site, it was designed by Max Voltar. The bottom is made out of aluminum with a white powder coating. The top is polycarbonate that's held in place with an M16 screw, which you can see right in the middle, but really fits with the overall design, and I think it looks great. Now, a keyboard is easy to build at this point, and if you've been on the fence, don't be. Build it and feel the satisfaction of spending all your hard-earned money on something you will put your greasy Dorito-covered fingertips on day after day. You deserve this experience. Now, let's talk about the pros and cons, and to be honest, there's not a lot of cons. Yes, it was annoying that I didn't get the H keycap right away, but hey, at the end of the day, I got it, and I'm happy. The switches were supposed to come pre-lubed. I think they were barely lubed because I had to go in there and lube them again myself. That's a lot of lube talk, but it sounds a lot thockier after you do it yourself. Yes, that was actually the very first time I actually lubed any switches or learned anything about that myself, and it was fun. It was a great experience, time consuming, but fun. Now, this board was $134-ish, and do I wish it had lighting options? Yes, I definitely wish it had lighting options. Now, this is just a preference, really. Some people might not even care about the lighting options, but for an unk like me who can barely see, barely hear nowadays, some light would be good. And did I mention I'm 31 years old? Yeah. And guys, that wraps my complaints. Like I said, I love this board. I love the look, the feel, and the way every single custom piece of the board fit together, from the cable, the caps, the artisan cap. I just want to say well done to Matthew and whoever took part of this project. I had a really great experience building my first keyboard, and it's such a quality piece to add to my collection. I love it. I primarily use this board for, it's going to be for video editing and just your general day-to-day browsing on my Mac Pro. I've never built a keyboard until this one, and just like everything in life that's intimidating, just do it. Try it once, see if you like it, see if you can figure it out, problem solve. I would say it is a good experience to have. If you have the money, invest in something that is quality, because even if you only have the money for one keyboard, that keyboard will last you a good amount of time. Now, what's new? I got my Clavier Fire keyboard that I just got my switches for, so stay tuned on that build. And hold on, let me actually show you guys. Imagine this, imagine that, but a keyboard. Yeah, that's what we're building next. So if you made it to the end, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate the support, the love, and we will be posting regular content here, so make sure you guys are staying subscribed. But with that said, I love you, be safe, take care, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.